Hi there, it's Roy from Sulphur City Sabers. What we have on the bench in front of us is our beaten path model. So this is an overview model of the design itself. It's not an operation, care or maintenance video. For that content, just check out the other links in the product description. So let's have a look at the Saber itself. If a Saber design ever exuded a Saber that had a story to tell, it would be this one. This Saber, this is the kind of Saber design that says it's been through a lot and seen a lot of action. A great size. This one will comfortably wield with two hands if you're a jeweler. You may find the slotted emitters just a little bit noticeable if you are jeweling. However, most jewelers will use a decent pair of impact gloves, so that would be a bad one to jewel with. This one. It's also got this little flare on the emitter, which acts like a little mini Saber. You can see it's quite wide at the end. A Saber, for those of you who don't know, is the flat plate you tend to find on swords that stops the opponent's blade sliding down your blade and hitting your fingers. And you wouldn't think it, but a tiny little flare like this just at the end of your Saber does help minimise the amount of times that you get a dong on the fingers from your opponent's blade. Yeah, so that's got a good weight to it as well. So you'll find this is quite nicely balanced even with a heavy blade inserted. And of course, if you're not a jeweler, it just looks absolutely awesome. These very unique milled shine throughs on the emitter are pretty stunning. So you have the elongated slots and those little circular holes as well. When illuminated, the Saber looks absolutely awesome. Anyway, let's break it down. It breaks down into 4 separate parts. One is the pommel, the body, and the emitter itself screws off. So there you have access to the board and install underneath. So this is the Xeno 3 RGB baselit board. It's a baselit because it's got a big RGB lens on the front. Very well featured board. It is pre-configured with a plethora of settings that will keep you amused for hours and allow you to set up your Saber to suit your preferences. Also comes with an empty SD slot that allows you to, should you wish, optionally add an SD card with additional sound fonts on there, and I understand you can pop a few configuration tweaks on there as well on the SD card. Never tried that one yet, haven't tried that yet, don't quote me on that one. But certainly you can put additional sound fonts on there. Okay, let's pop this back together and continue our little overview. So it comes with a threaded CoverTech hole just at the base of the Saber that will allow you to add an optional CoverTech knob if you ever want to at a later stage. For those of you that don't know, CoverTech knob is like a little slotty wheel that you can slot into a CoverTech belt clip. They used them in the prequel trilogy actually to hang on the Jedi's belts, which is why they permeated out into the Saber community. Switch and recharge port are nice and subtle, just on the top there. The switch at the time of recording has this really nice motif design built into that, and it's a white LED backlight on there. If we flip it over, we can see a couple of screws on the bottom. This screw here is a chassis retention screw. It just keeps the chassis in place. This one here is a grub screw, which is used to push up the switch and recharge board assembly from below and pushed them into their little milled out slots just on the body. Going further up the saber, these are decorative, but we have our 3 blade retention holes up on the emitter. If you're fitting a heavy grade blade, you pretty much only need to use one of those retention screws to keep your heavy grade blade in place. They are quite firm with one retention screw. If you're using a lighter mid-grade blade, because they've got the thinner walls, they're a bit more flexy. So the additional retention screws really kick in to help keep those mid-grade blades in place. Okay, so that is kind of a bit of an overview of the Saber. So this comes with the RGB Xeno 3 install, so the baselit model, the baselit install will also come available with the Xeno 3 Pixel. For those of you who want something a bit flashier, but Pixel blades of course are not warranted for dueling, nor should any Pixel blade be warranted for dueling in our opinion. I've been dueling for well over 6 years weekly, and I've never seen a Pixel blade that hasn't prematurely failed when people have dueled with it. Of course, it comes with the Profi cores as well. So Profi cores are the open source board, nice high-end board actually. It's been in the community for a number of years now. Designed by a very clever Google engineer called Frederick Hubinet, and it's kind of revolutionised Sabertech actually. And you see a lot of the features from Profi kind of filtered down into other Sabertech these days. But it's my board of choice. And yeah, that comes in the Pixel version as well. So highly configurable, lots of blade styles that you can add if you're so inclined, or get someone to add them for you. Okay, so like I said, that is an overview of the beaten path and the Saber design with a story to tell. I think this one's going to be quite popular, if nothing for the really unique emitter on there. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask. As always, we'll be happy to answer them. Thanks for your time.